Well, hello, adventure lovers. How y'all doing today? Leo here. Got a little adventure for you guys today. I'm out in the woods on the ATV, not too far from the house. I'm in radio range. Heather and I can talk, so not that far. But anyhow, I'm doing something a little bit different this trip. I got me, I don't know if y'all seen them. I only brought one bag, all right? I got one bag for this trip. 160-pound military duffel bag. We just got one of those, I know y'all seen them, hammock tents. It hangs between two trees, and you camp in the hammock tent, and there's basically a little kite kind of thing that goes over top of your bed, and you camp in the hammock. Well, I got one of them puppies. 37 bucks, Amazon. And yeah, it seemed like a good idea. Let's go try one out. Well, guess what? It's going to rain tonight. It's going to start raining about 2-3 a.m. and rain till all day tomorrow. It's fun. You know, you've got shelter, you've got cover from the rain, and worst case scenario, if something, you know, really bad were to happen, I have 2 bars on my phone, and I have, like I said, I have little radios with us. We have walkie-talkies, little Baofeng, extended range radios, and so we can talk back and forth, with the radios too. So either way, this should be a really fun, interesting trip. I came out the other day and scouted this location just a little bit, and went up and found me what I think looks like, 2 decent, well, those 2 don't look too bad, but found me a decent looking little spot where I think I can set it up in between 2 trees and have us a little adventure. That sounds like a really good trip to me. And then hang out in my hammock, watching TV and stuff later on my tablet or something, and just listen to the rain all night. How cool does that sound? The other thing about it, the hammock is, buffet height. If you're a bear, that's like, buffet height. So, what are you going to do? Well, guys, I made it to my little hidden spot. That tree right there and that tree right there will be my home for the next little while. Interesting, huh? And I got the 60-pound backpack up here up on the hill, which wasn't as easy as it sounds. That sounds bad, but yeah, it was bad. Anyway, we're up here now. We made it. So yeah, I guess I need to get started. I gotta clear me a little spot. I got all kinds of stuff to explore and roam, and just all this good stuff. When the storm, in theory, starts later tonight, middle of the night, I should have good shelter from wind, once again, in theory. Don't have any widowmakers nearby me. Double checked that the other day too. Saw a couple down behind me down the hill, but if one of those falls, worst case scenario, I have to climb over it when I leave. Could be a whole lot worse than that, right? But anyhow, I've got a whole bunch of junk, like I said, in the bag there. I've got to get all of it out, get it all unpacked. Wouldn't you know it, the hanging tent is at the bottom. I put it in first. I'll have to unpack all of it and then put the tent up and then repack everything. Oh well, though, that's half the fun, the adventure. But the spot's not quite level, but I guess y'all can tell from the video. I don't know if you can or not. GoPro doesn't really do well with that sort of thing. But as far as that goes, it's a hanging, it shouldn't matter. It says right on the box, uneven ground, unlevel ground, no problem. So yeah, we'll see how comfy. We'll see just how comfy a hammock tent with a little kite roof is in a thunderstorm. These are the biting questions that we will answer for you guys. Stay tuned. All right, let me Well, guys, what y'all think? Does she look seaworthy? Or better yet, storm-worthy? That's the question right there, isn't it? Will it take a storm? We should be pretty sheltered in this little valley here. A lot of vegetation around me. Should be real interesting, though. Is that something you would try? What do y'all think? I'd be interested to hear your opinions about this. But I've got it set up. I've got the hammock here. Actually, I've got a little air mattress, small one, and my sleeping bag. Seems to be pretty solid. You know, I've tried to flop it around and then it didn't go anywhere. So that's a good sign, I suppose. Got my rain gear hanging down on this end. I figure I'll put my shoes in here. And I've got my dry bag and junk there. So we'll put all that in the bag later and set it over next to the tree out of the way. Should work. Let's see what this looks like. Kind of reminds you of a boat, don't it? Got the boat keel under there and a sail on top. Kind of reminds you of a boat. Looks very interesting though, doesn't it? I've got 2 bars of cell service here, so I should be able to, I'll grab my tablet while I'm down there and watch some movies on the tablet. Sounds pretty cool. You know, hang out, and brought my little fold up little fire pit if I can find me a little spot. If I can find the right spot, we'll see. If not, we don't care. We don't care. It's not about that, is it? That just looks really very interesting. No, I don't know about this, y'all. Of course, you know, people been doing this for years, you know, camping like this. My first time, though. But I made sure to lash everything down really well. And hopefully, we'll come through the storm okay. Now, I'm perched right on the side of a hill here, as you can see. We are on a hillside. Let me get a little light on in here. There we go. Now, what do you think? Definitely looks different, doesn't it? Just swinging away. I'm gonna put me a rope over there so I can pull on it and swing when I'm laying in there tonight. That definitely looks weird, didn't it? But check this out. When I'm laying down, I've got my tablet hanging right there, another lantern, so I can watch movies. In theory, you know, I should be able to lay here in my hammock and watch movies until I get ready to go to bed. And then, you know, the rain will kick in about 3 a.m. in theory, and we'll go from there. But yeah, this should be quite the little adventure. I've got me a little spot here by the tree, you know, just got my junk in there, a little tarp, got it folded, and got my dry bag on top of it. I've got this right here is a little solar power bank. It's got, you know, panels on the other side. But I got it up here, you know, a little light. It's got a great big battery, so that should give me good light all night long. Plus I've got that one, and I've got one down there. A couple small handheld flashlights, so we should be good to go. I've got got my walkie-talkie right up here. And Heather's down at the house with the other one. You know, we're barely in range, but we're in range. It'll work. It'll work. We've been talking back and forth. But yeah, so far so good. Let me get down here. This is going to be a wild night. That much I'm sure of. It's going to be a wild. And I didn't use any stakes. I've got everything is tied to actual trees. One over there, one there, and the same thing down here. Actually tied off, everything is. So we should be pretty solid. It just depends on the wind, right? Just depends on how crazy the wind gets, I suppose. Well, I'm all kicked back in my hammock. I'm watching Meg 2. It's about a megalodon on YouTube. I got it Bluetooth with my phone, Wi-Fi hotspot. Hang on, let me pause that. Well, come on. There we go. Can't catch it. There we go. Pause that. Look at that. Looking interesting there, isn't it? Yeah. It's what, 9:52. It's very, very dark, as you can see. Here, let me get a little extra light. There we go. That's better. A little more light on the subject. But yeah, I've got all kinds of junk hanging from my ceiling, little hooks and so far so good. Pretty cozy, actually. Just very much kicked back and got me some snacks and great crush. Got me some coffee and bag with, Cheez-Its, and got another bag over here somewhere with some cakes and things in it. I'll have to get that out here in a minute. But yeah, so far very comfy so far. Of course, I've never done this before. I don't know. Let me get it straightened out. There we go. That's better. I've never slept in a hammock before, just to be honest with you. I've never slept in one before, so this will be a first for me, and I've certainly never slept in one in something like, that kind of rain and junk. So yeah, this should be an adventure. It'll either be a really cool night to remember or something really bad. Something real bad. I'm hopeful, y'all. I'm hopeful. That's awful thin. But it looks to be, that's how it's supposed to work, I guess. Other people do it. If other people can do it, I guess I can too, right? We'll find out, won't we? But I've got the bed pretty well set up. I'm on top of the sleeping bag. It's owl up there. I've got the sleeping bag. I'm on top of everything. A little bit later, when I go to bed, I'll unzip the bug screen here and open up, get inside the sleeping bag and zip everything up a little bit later. That should be very interesting once that rain starts. But yeah, I'm going to try to get some sleep if I can. And as long as everything holds together, we'll stay, and just trying to chill a little bit, get some sleep. But yeah, it's Al right up there, isn't he? He's right up here. But who knows? I might be up in the middle of the night, getting the coveralls on, trying to fight with the rain. Who knows? I got one more hook right there. I'm saving that one for my shoes. Put them up high so they don't get soaked. It is very, very dark. Hang on. Look at that. I saw the moon earlier. I don't know if you can see it now. Hang on, I'll point the camera up. I don't know. I didn't see it in the screen. I didn't see it, so I don't know. Anyway, yeah, very, very comfy, very snuggly, very relaxing, very cozy so far. So far. The night is just getting going, though. Situations like this make you question your life choices once in a while. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It should be a ton of fun. Either way, you know, worst case scenario, you're going to get wet. You're not going to, you know, it's not exactly the end of the world. Like I said, there shouldn't be any widow makers above me. And I should be pretty sheltered from most of the wind. So most of the rain comes straight down. And I've got it set up to where anything running off the hill should go directly, go right under me. You know, sleep right over it. Yeah. Yeah. Don't mind if it pours rain. I'll sleep right over it, hopefully. Famous last words, right? And a few bugs in here. A few little skeeters. Here, hang on. Let me get this down. Well, I gotta get the coffee pot first. Then that. Oh my God. There's my coffee thermos. Put that over there. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hillbilly mountain goat to Heather Bear. Come in, Heather Bear.
What's up, mountain goat?
Well, guys, check this out. It's 10:20, and you can see the storm right there. I've got the Mag 2 playing. Kicked back in my hammock. Hang on, hang on. We're not done yet. I'll put my phone down. Got my drinks over here, snacks. Got all my goodies out, cakes and junk. But this is that ham stuff that Heather made.
How did your pet shark get down here, Jimmy?
And a whole pack of bacon bits. She sent a whole pack of bacon bits with it.
Proximity alert. Thanks. No way.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
That's the biggest Meg I've ever seen.
Biggest Meg anyone's ever seen.
It's gotta be the apex predator.
It's a big shark.
Incredible. Megs are solitary.
Hopefully, I won't have too many sharks tonight. At least I'm not looking for any anyway. But you never know. That's how sharks work. They sneak up on you. Okay, I'm going to eat, watch some movie, and just take my shoes off in a little while, hang them up, and put everything back underneath the hammock, you know, the chair and all that good stuff, and try to get a little bit of sleep before the rain starts. We shall see. Good morning. About 7 o'clock. Just now starting to get daylight out. Not quite yet. A little bit brighter on that side, ain't it? All right, check this out. Look at that. Right in the middle of it. It has been raining all night long. But it's been pretty cool. Not much of you don't have a whole lot of space in here to roam around. It's not like you're gonna, you know, get up and be roaming around doing junk, but it's fairly comfortable, I guess. Not too shabby. I like to get it rocking. It's a little more comfy then. It seems to have, you know, turned all the water just fine. And it's, you know, pretty warm. 62 out. It's not real hot, not real warm, but pretty nice in bed, you know. Can't complain, I guess. But I'm going to try to doze back off again. Doubt it, but I'm going to try. If I can get just a little bit more sleep and then worry about cleaning up and packing up and getting back out of here in the rain, because it's probably going to still be raining. But that's okay. Been a fun little trip. Everything all hanging above you. All the way down. All right. Just thought I would show y'all that. Daybreak from a canopy. Canopy. What am I saying? I was thinking about the other tent. A hammock. Wish it was the canopy. I'd have all kinds of room then, wouldn't I? This ain't too bad, you know. It's just, I don't know if it's the best setup for a rainy night. You know, if you know you got a rainy night coming, because you're kind of stuck in your bed. You get ready to get up. That's the only catch to these. All right, I'm gonna try to go back to sleep for a while. I'll see y'all shortly. Well, good morning, everybody. That's a little bit more like it there now. It's all daylight out now. It's I fell back asleep. Yeah. Got comfy that time. Got settled in, and yeah, I slept really good. That like 6 to 10. I slept really good. Oh, excuse me, sorry. This is actually pretty comfy. Do I look comfy? I think I feel like I look pretty comfortable. I'm not sure, but I think I do. Yeah, it finally stopped raining. And birds are singing now. Birds out. Looks like it's... Well, I'm up now. Battery died. Had to get up and get another battery. Figures, don't it? But I guess I had to get up eventually. So, you know, sooner or later. I did notice one thing. You have to watch about walking by this thing. If you touch it, yeah, all that just runs right off on you. It rained all night last night. Near as I could tell, it didn't stop. Once it started, it rained until, I don't know, about 8 this morning. Well, no, it had quit this morning, about 7:30. It had quit, the crack of dawn. It had quit by then. But I finally got the hang of this thing. You have to scoot that way. I realized that after, you know, yeah. The only thing I don't like about it is you have to lay on your back. You can't roll over, you know, on your sides or, you know, stomach, sleep on your stomach, none of that stuff. You have to sleep on your back the entire time. But it is pretty cozy, you know, I will give it that. It is pretty cozy. Who knows? There may be, you know, a situation where this will be the exact tent you need. Who knows? But it's a fun little adventure, that's for sure. You know, come out and spend the night out in a thunderstorm. I thought, you know, you would think that you would sleep really well with the rain, you know, with the sounds, you know. No, it's a lot noisier than you would think. Okay, that looks warm to me. Now, where'd the knob go? Oh, well, here it is. Now, get me some hot coffee going. Started to say I didn't figure out the rest of the day, but I think I'm just going to get the coffee and, you know, worry about everything else after I've had a couple drinks of coffee. I'll be back, guys. I'll see y'all in a few. Priorities, you know, medical stuff I got to go do. You know how it is. Coffee, medicine, what's the difference? Same thing. I'll be back. Well, that's better. Got me some coffee. Get woke up just a little bit. I was kind of thinking, I'm sure some of y'all have used these hammock, you know, camps before. A little bit of advice I could use here. The advice I could use, yes. Yoda, right. Anyway, I was kind of thinking, you know, there's probably some of y'all that have done this before, used these before. I'm thinking my trees might be a little bit close together. Might be a little bit tight. That might be my problem. You know, because of the U shape, you know, in the hammock. And I was just kind of wondering about that. If you had, you know, the trees were further apart, because I'm pretty much at its lowest setting. You know, tightest. But, I mean, it worked, don't get me wrong. It didn't get a drop of water on me, and it poured all night last night. I mean, it was loud. It was raining so hard, it was actually loud in there. And so, I was just kind of wondering about that. But, like I said, it did really well, you know. I didn't get wet at all. Cozy, warm, very snuggly. The only thing, like I said, is that U kind of shape going on when you're sleeping. That's the only problem I have with this thing. But I was kind of wondering, like I said, maybe if you stretch it out a little bit, does it kind of, you know, can you compensate for that? But you can see I got my snack chair. Normally it's a chair, but last night it's a end table and snack tray. But yeah, I just kind of chilled out there. And hang on, let me get back over here. Yeah, I just kind of hung out here and watched TV, listened to the rain, and then fell asleep. I fell asleep with it on. It was very comfy. And yeah. That junk hanging all the way down through there. Look at that. From one tree to the other. There's junk hanging on that wire all the way. Yeah, like I said though, it works. You just gotta, certain things you gotta be careful of. But anyway, I'm in a little gap here in between the rain clouds. Got some more on the way. Looks like I got a couple hours though before it starts back in again. Wow, check that out. I noticed this yesterday. Somebody back in the day been practicing, ain't they? Look at that. Look at that. That's somebody's old aluminum pot, but well, it used to be an old aluminum pot. Now it looks a lot more like Swiss cheese. Aluminum Swiss cheese. We've shot at him once or twice, ain't we? Yeah, we'll put him back where he was. I just thought that was interesting, you know. A whole lot of shooting at one point back in here, huh? Okay, well, it looks like I'm going to have to quit goofing off here and go ahead and start getting everything tore down and packed up and hauled out of here. I got a wet ATV I go to. Well, I got rain gear. Hey, that's right. We'll say my seat's wet. I got rain pants. Forgot about them. Okay, well, they might be dry when I get there. We'll see. There's a first for everything, they say. That's definitely a first for this one. But now I can say I have camped out in a thunderstorm all night long in a hammock. I can now add that to my resume. Not that it's going to help, because I'm not going to pay me anymore. But, oh well, what are you going to do? Alright guys, I'm going to get off here and start ripping all this stuff down. And I shall be back. I'll see y'all shortly. Well, looks like I got it all knocked out with a little bit of time to spare. How about that? No rain yet. All right, test complete. Yeah, it works. We'll see y'all later. I'll quit goofing off. Y'all have a good one, and Leo out.